the ultimate goal for why you're quitting porn, why you're doing this NoFap thing, and your ultimate goal to keep you in a state of eternal recovery in your life. This is really exciting to me because there are a lot of people out there that are just counting the days or counting the numbers. As soon as I can get to number 365 days of NoFap or no porn, then I'll be recovered, then I'll be healed. This is a lot more exciting, and if you understand these three concepts, it will change the way that you view your porn habit, and it will actually fuel you and help you get there quicker. The first one being zero urges. This is the ultimate goal, guys. If we think about it, if you're scrolling through the internet, scrolling through Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever, that when you do see triggery content, you don't budge. When you go to the gym and you see all the women there, you don't even move. You don't even, it doesn't even tickle your wiener a little bit, as I call it. You aren't as triggered by this content because you've moved past that and you stop getting that dopamine hit every time that you do see some content that is a little bit triggery or sexual. This is the ultimate, right, holy grail of recovery, is that can you imagine that this is possible? Most people, like most guys that I ask this to, they say, no, that's not possible. We live in this world where over-sexualized content is just around the corner. Well, guess what, guys? What you're experiencing when you are going through social media and seeing that triggery content or even watching porn, you're experiencing little splashes, little squirts of dopamine hits. That is basically telling your brain, telling your body that this is something that is necessary for your survival. This is something that is pleasurable, and therefore that dopamine hit is requiring you to go back to it over and over again. So guys, the key here is to somehow learn how to decrease the dopamine hits, to decrease the pleasure sensors in your brain, in your body, so that when you do see that triggery content online, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't even move you, because if you trained yourself out of those hits and you've trained your brain out of experiencing pleasure, you've trained yourself into this habit, into this addiction for years and decades, even through experiencing those little dopamine hits little by little over and over again, and they're becoming bigger and bigger and more exaggerated, which is why it requires you to keep going back for more and more frequent, more intense, more elaborate pornographic content, right? So the key here, guys, number 2 is you got to replace the dopamine hit. It's as simple as that. Like, if you can get this is how, I kid you not, I swear to God, this is how men can completely not be aroused sexually by content that is really not sexual in nature, but is just pixels on a screen. This is how men can live their lives in true freedom. It's because they've learned how to replace that dopamine, the artificial thrill and excitement, the dopamine hit, with something that is truly genuine. Let's define dopamine really simply, okay? I know when you hear that word, you don't understand the brain chemicals and the neurotransmitters and all of that. Simply put, dopamine is your body and your brain's way of ensuring your survival by giving you a certain level of pleasure so that you will go back to that activity, because it believes it's training your brain to believe that that is required for your survival. In this case, porn equals sexuality, equals sexual climax, equals procreation, right? Survival. However, it's artificial dopamine, it's artificial thrill that you're addicting yourself to, and the nature of pornography is that it's ever growing, ever available, ever accessible, and constantly growing and evergreen and novel. So the dopamine is far outpacing the actual requirements for survival. So here's the trick, guys. You've got to replace that small dopamine squirt, that little hit, that little rush of seeing something triggery or seeing something on Instagram, or seeing a little pornographic video here or there, watching that TV show or that movie that you know you probably shouldn't be watching, right? Is to replace that hit that you're getting with a genuine a dopamine hit that is dopamine, that is telling your brain that you're using this for your survival, but it's actually healthy for you, something that is actually good for you. And so how you do this, guys, is you stand up, you close your computer, you turn off your phone, you walk away from it, and you do something that also produces that dopamine chemical in your brain, but it's something that is actually healthy for you, something that is actually genuinely meant for your thrive in your life, your survival in your life. And that brings us to point number 3. You've got to do something that induces and produces these results, either something that produces money, better health, or sex and relationships. All right, This is key. If you can understand this concept, it'll change everything for you. You've got to do something that produces these results, something that builds more money, wealth, lifestyle for you, something that enhances your way of life, your well-being, something that enhances your health, your physical well-being, or something that improves your relationships with people, with your family, and ultimately with actual physical sexuality with a woman. Some examples of this is money. Okay, starting a business, working on a business, getting really, really passionate and excited. That's the key word, excited, thrilled about your business, your craft, your skills, your health. Go to the gym, work on your body, go for a run. When you do it, get those hits and those urges and those triggers, go on a run, do some push-ups, replace that hit with a genuine hit that is actually good for you. Sex, this is not just about physical sex. This is about relationships, developing relationships, finding a partner, working on yourself as a man so that you can actually find the partner to have a sexual, intimate, long-term committed relationship with, ultimately. Or it could mean working on the relationships in your own family, with your parents, with the people around you. It's all about relationships. So in a nutshell, dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It's the anticipation that you're experiencing when you watch porn or when you see triggery content online. And that anticipation is your brain telling you that you're about to have a sexual experience. Guys, you can hijack that completely. You hijack the cycle by replacing that dopamine hit, that anticipation hit, with something that is also brings you anticipation, excitement, thrill in your life, and you can do something around here. This is all I talk about here on this channel. So now you're wondering, how do you get from where you are right now with your urges and your porn habit to actually coming to a place where you have zero urges? That's what this video right here is about. It's a reboot for your brain, for your habit, so that you actually take control of this for good. Go check that out right now. It's good to have you. Take care.